Hey y'all, this is Judith of judithtamara.com, Judith Tamara Design, and I'm here with the new moon reading for November. We have a very, very sweet card today for this month. It's called In. Also, I call it Inward a lot. It's a direction card. One of the four directions, first four cards of this deck of cards is the in, out, down, and up card. This is the number 3, in. So inward is how it impacts us, this energy that's coming in for this month, how it impacts us as it tends to ask us to not so much withdraw from the outside as much as concentrate the energy of ourself, of our wholeness on the inside or within ourselves. So it's not, sometimes I feel like we can interpret inward as a retraction from the outside, but the focus is really the motion, the movement, the evolution, the process that goes on the inside of ourselves, which then transforms us and naturally shows up on the surface of our beings and impacts the world. So it's less about retracting from the outside world and more about just simply taking into account and being centered and focused on our internal process. It's very resonant in many ways with what a lot of us do this time of year anyway, is that coldness, if you're living in the northern hemisphere, of the seasons, and how we tend to go inward or become more introspective or more centered in ourselves and focused in ourselves. However, it's not about isolating ourselves from the external world. How it shows up in our environment is very similarly. It's like there's more of a time where we are not closing off to the external world so much as we're giving more focus to how our inner space, including our environments, including our work environments, are feeling. It's a very textural card. It's a very sensual card. It's very much like understanding the very personal ways that we are affected by space. So this is the time where a little bit like, some of us, I do, have that little bit of the princess and the pea issue where I can feel things very intensely. This is the time where we allow ourselves to feel those peas that we're sitting on and allow ourselves to take care of them, to see how we move around them, how we're reacting to them. So within our environments, this is a really good time to actually start to notice and take stock of the things that have been poking at you subconsciously or consciously while you work in your workspace or live in your living space. It's a time where these things are very valid to sort of address how we actually truly want something to be, how we want our environment to be. So this is a good time to sort of give yourself a short list of like, what change can I make in my environment that is really going to settle me into myself, center me in myself when I work or when I'm living, when I'm doing whatever activity. What are the colors? What are the textures? What are the objects that make me feel whole, that make me feel whole? So this is the kind of energy right now that we are bringing to our environments. Is this question: what makes me feel whole? And if you want to take a second, either now or when this video ends, to just like take a look around you and ask yourself, what sorts of things make me feel grounded and centered and whole and taken care of within myself? And then maybe ask for it for the holidays. Someone give it to you, right? Or go out and give it to yourself. Favorite part about holidays is shopping for myself. So, so the kinds of actual materials and things that are specifically associated with this card are things that have a very soft texture, a very enticing texture. It also tends to show up in somewhat soft colors, like dusty rose, like the dusty rose behind me, or dusty muted blues, could be purples, could be any color, just that muted, soft kind of colors that don't make you feel like you have so much of a hard boundary, you know, that kind of look, those colors that kind of like you feel like you could touch and your fingers could sink into a little bit. That kind of color is a really appropriate color to bring in around yourself. If you want to make changes in the environment towards that in general, becoming aware of the textures underneath your feet, becoming aware of the textures of your clothes, becoming aware of the textures of your chair, and again, those colors that are soft. Do you like the feeling of your desk, for example? Do you like the feeling of the paper that you use on a regular basis? What is your sensual experience of your environment? What brings you into your body? So any of those things will bring you any sense of beauty, any sense of texture, any sense of sensuality are going to bring you more into your body. That is going to make you feel more centered and grounded as you work in your workspace or as you live in your living space. And it's not, you know, it's not a superficial thing to feel grounded and feel centered, feel held, and feel like you're in a beautiful space when you work. That feeds your soul, and it also feeds your capacity to give to others and to serve others and to create. So worth investing in. So that is all from this card. And I'll touch base again with you at the full moon and see how it's going and show you how it's showing up in my life. And I also want to remind people I'm putting on a free event, January 2nd. I'll put the link below. It's about clearing the energy of your workspace. Everyone is invited to come. It's January 2nd, 11 a.m. Pacific. It will be recorded. So if you miss it, you can hang on to it and get it again later on and do it with yourself, with your room, to clear the energy and reset your environment for 2020. All right. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.